Perfect. Well, hello and good evening again. Thank you for joining us for the Taste of Art program with the Lehigh University Art Galleries. My name is Stacy Brennan. I'm the LUAG Curator of Education. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our program and to introduce you to our presenters, Alicia Moore, Maite Gomez-Rejon, and our featured restaurant partners, Marylou and William from the Couchpota.doh kitchen and food truck here in Bethlehem. The Taste of Art is a free public program that combines mini art history lessons with live cooking demonstrations. It spotlights local Southside restaurants to celebrate and build awareness of the community's eclectic, historic, and diverse urban culture. Each workshop pairs a work of art from Lehigh's art collection with a related recipe from the featured restaurant to highlight the diverse cultures and voices that make up Bethlehem's Southside community. This program is brought to us tonight through the support from the Institute of Museum and Library Services, IMLS, and the American Rescue Plan grant. If you have not picked up your kit yet, we have a limited number of free kits. They're available for pickup at Couchpota.doh's kitchen. Remind me of your address.
306 Broadhead in South Bethlehem. So the best thing to do is always across the street from Comfort Suites and Perkins. We're right on the fourth corner, so you could always find us. Perfect,
thank you. And we will also have a few available at Lehigh University Art Galleries, but if you go to Couchpota.doh, they are generously offering a coupon towards your purchase, so please make sure you go there. And as part of this grant-funded program, you are eligible to win gift certificates to the Couchpota.doh. So please make sure that you take a picture of your recipe as you make it, tag us, and also like the Couchpota.doh's account as well. And 2 winners from today's program will receive a gift certificate. Please note that we are recording this program this evening, and we would love for you to participate in the conversation at any time. You can unmute yourself or place your comments and question in the chat box. So it's my pleasure to turn our program over to Maite, who's going to get us started with our first recipe, the Ecuadorian drink of Cuàker.
Thank you, Stacy, and hi everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm so excited about this drink. And for those of you that have taken this program before, we're doing it a little bit out of order because this drink takes a little bit of time to simmer. So it is a very popular drink in Ecuador called Cuàker, which is basically comes from Cuàker. So instead of Quaker oats, it's Cuàker because it's the most popular type of oats in Ecuador.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna get it started because it takes about 20 minutes or so to simmer. So I have 1 pineapple that I just peeled and sliced into circles, and I'm just gonna put them into 5 cups of water. And is this, Marylou and William, is this something that you grew up with, that you love?
Yeah, it's more of a very traditional drink. It's served in either hot or cold. It's almost like I would get it every time I would be sick, like if you had like a cold or something, in a hot version. Yeah. Okay. But in Ecuador, the temperature varies. So at nighttime, we go down to like 50 degrees, and then during the daytime, we go up to 75 to 80 degrees. So during the daytime, you would want to serve it with ice, you know? So it's almost like coffee. It's almost like our version of coffee, but in a Quaker version, hot in a cup, and you can also serve it with ice. And perfect. I like to add a little sugar in it because I like it sweet. But that's all my choice, of course. Okay. We gave you the way it's supposed to be, you know, made in Ecuador. But again, I was, I had a sweet tooth. So
okay, I have a sweet tooth too, and I have a mug and I have a glass, so I'm going to serve it both ways. But right now, I put the pineapple in there. And I have a panela, which is also brown sugar. So if you don't have one of these, panela sometimes is also called piloncillo. In Mexico, it's called piloncillo. You could substitute it with, let me see how much with some brown sugar, basically. It's like dark brown sugar. So I'm just going to stick that in there, and this will dissolve. I'm going to include 2 cinnamon sticks, and of course, what makes the Cuàker is the oats, right? So I'm going to add a cup of oats, and then I'm just going to let them simmer just gonna make sure that the oats get in.
Can I mention something? You standing there the way you are right there with the stove.
Uh-huh.
My mom had the same picture, same side. She would be
Yeah.
serving it and making the Cuàker just like yourself. So you just reminded me of my mother doing it. So
Oh, really? Wow, that's so nice.
yeah, that's I'm like looking at you and I'm like, brings you back memories. So that's why my mom, yeah.
That's
She has
awesome.
short hair like yourself too. So I don't know, you're a younger version of her.
Oh, thank you. And I'm letting my hair grow out for the first time in 10 years. So it's long. Thank you. So I'm just gonna let this sit.
Let it do its magic. Yeah.
Let it do its magic. So should I cover it or just leave it and just let it sit for about 20
I would
minutes?
cover it so it'll soften up a little more. As long as the fire's not too high, it'll be fine.
Yeah, just keep it on medium.
Just keep it. Okay. I'm gonna use this for the plantains later. So I'm just gonna move it to the back and then just let it do its magic.
Yeah.
And then
You have
we'll
to
get
let it sit a
into
little.
yeah, and then I'll get into the history of some of these ingredients.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. So let's see. So Stacy and Alicia, do you want to?
Yeah, Mary Lou and William, we would love
Oh.
to learn a little bit about your restaurant, how you got started and what brought you to Bethlehem.
Well, thank you for having us. Number one, with us, this is it's been an experience for us. We never really thought that we were gonna have a restaurant, honestly. The whole goal of the company was, and I'll be honest, I have no problem with it. I'm in love with my wife, and I just wanted to spend as much time as I could with her. So I asked her if she, you know, what she could do for the rest of her life. She said, be in front of a kitchen, and so I gave her a food truck, and thankfully the food truck, we did well. And, you know, after 7 years, we've come here now and we have a beautiful restaurant in South Bethlehem. So if you're in the area, please come by and say hi to us. We serve Ecuadorian street food. It's all the food that I grew up with. So, you know, I'm a little biased. The good thing is that if you're not sure about an item on the menu, please, we always ask everybody, just come in. We'll give you a little bite. We want you to be extremely happy, have a different experience with us at the restaurant. Just feel at home the way we serve our food at our house. That's what the whole goal of the restaurant, of our food was, is to share what we eat in our house and what my mother made for me. I've been fortunate with my wife 24 years now, and she cooks like my mother. So it's been a great experience. So come by in South Bethlehem. We have Ecuadorian street food. We have a lot of other things: seared mashed potatoes, empanadas, rice and beans, pork. We do catering as well. And just so you guys know, she does all the cooking and she knocks it out of the park. So please, you know, if you get a chance.
Yeah. We're open. As they say, mi casa es su casa.
Well, you definitely get a feeling of that when you enter into your space. You've done such a great job and you're so welcoming and create such a warm, wonderful environment. And I know you mentioned that your son works with you as well in the restaurant. So it's surely a family business.
Yeah, he's trying to, I mean, don't get me wrong. He has a little bit of my wife's and my mother and grandmother and everybody's enthusiasm to cooking. And let's see if he'll take it a fourth generation. I mean, she's taking it a third generation, a fifth generation. She's the fourth, and see what happens. But yeah, he's my first on the line, and he's in charge of the flat griddle, her right hand, and he knocks it out. He goes to Voltec already. Well, no, wait, correction. He just became Serve Safe Management certified. Yeah. So he's only 17 years old, and he's rocking and rolling. You know, if I can provide something for him that can help him, you know, strive in the future, then hopefully I can, you know, give him that. And with her guidance, I mean, he's gonna go big. So thank you for asking, because you know he's really important to the family. We have a 6-year-old, we have a 12-year-old also. I mean, the 6-year-old is the CEO of the company. You know, my mother's right now, she should be coming maybe in a week and just kind of visit with us. But please, you know, we want everybody to kind of come in and enjoy our food and come meet the family. The kids usually are running around in the restaurant, so please bear with us, okay? Because we don't have a babysitter. The good thing is that they enjoy being here. They enjoy and they understand the hard work that we grew up as, both of us. In today's world, you know, we want to make sure that, especially with the kids, they understand that. So I think that they do, and you know, so.
But even when our customers bring in their kids,
Yeah.
like that's a big thing for us because we're very family oriented. So we love to welcome families in to our doors and our tables.
And that's one of the other reasons why we do give samples in the restaurant. I mean, we even do it in our food truck. We have a food truck. I'm actually building another food truck to bring out because the first one broke down. But you know, my name is Will. I have a motto: where there's a will, there's a way. I don't let anything stop me, no matter what is going on in the world. But always with the support of this young lady, my kids, of course, as well. And thankfully, Miss Stacy, you guys, you know, helping us out with Lehigh University and the neighborhood. I mean, we live here, and we want to make sure that we can bring our quality food to the neighborhood, to the kids, especially the Lehigh kids. I mean, we see them going to Wendy's and McDonald's. Don't get me wrong, I love them and all, but you know, you want to give them real quality food, and I think that we're doing our little bit of our job. So thank you for you know, having us in every possible way.
Thank you. And we're so appreciative of having you in Bethlehem and everything that you bring. I know you've been really involved in the community and have lots of amazing ideas about the future. So we appreciate not only that you bring good food, but you're an important part of our community. I'm going to kick it over to Alicia. Oh, Maite, go ahead.
Actually, I was going to before we kick it over to Alicia, just because the plantains also take a little while, should we just get these going?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get these, yeah. Sorry. Because these take about, because we need to boil can you hear me? Am I muted?
Yes.
Okay.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. So I have some water boiling here. This is about halfway full. So I just want to cut the ends off, correct?
Cut the ends off. Yep.
Cut the ends off. And I want to do 2 plantains, right?
Yeah, 2 of them.
2 of them.
So I want to, when we come back, I just want to give everybody a visual of these 2. These are, so we have the Cuàker going, and then I'm going to prep the green plantain for Bolón de Verde, which is bolón is basically a big ball. It's basically we're going to make big green balls.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to show the differences because I ended up buying this, and then Maite was like, no, you need to get the green one. So, so I need to so I'm going to cut the ends off, and we'll talk about this later in a little bit. And then I cut them in quarters. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can quarter it or third it, whichever one is perfect for you. Yeah.
I'll third this one, and then I'll quarter this one, so that everything is about the same size. And then from here, can everybody?
Yeah, it depends on how big your plantain is.
Yeah, one of them is a little smaller than the other. And I just want to shift this over just so that everybody can see what I'm doing. And let me just, okay. So then from here, then all I want to do is I don't want to cut into the plantain, right? I just want to loosen this.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, just cut it. Yep, that's it. And don't peel it. Just cut a couple of them around, so that way when you boiling it, it opens up. It's easier for it to soften.
Okay, so do I want to do a few cuts?
Because if the skin is, you could do like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I usually do one on one side.
Okay, perfect. So one on each. Okay, so
One
on the other side. So that way it opens up. You don't peel it off. Just leave it on there.
Okay, perfect. So great. So I'm just gonna, I think that I will, and then I'm just gonna stick this in the boiling water. Do I need to salt the water?
Yeah, you can salt
Yeah,
the water.
okay.
I always salt the water.
Okay, salt makes everything taste good. Okay, so this is the last one. It smells so good. It's so it smells so green. It smells so green. Okay, so that's I just get all of those.
I'm pretty sure it smells like my mom's house.
Oh, does it? Maybe. Okay, sorry, I chose the wrong camera. All right, so I'm just gonna just salt some water here. and then put them in. And we'll just let these simmer. Or do I want it, does the water want to be in a roaring boil the entire time?
Will you repeat the question?
Does the water need to be boiling or more simmering, like a gentle simmer or a loud boil?
I think they're having connection issues.
Okay.
I'm gonna type it in the chat to them.
Okay, that's a good idea. So I have it, they're in there and they should be ready
My
to,
apologies, we're losing connection.
that's okay. The question was, should I simmer them or should just they be boiling as if it were pasta, like really boiling?
Yeah, we
Boil.
boil. Yeah, you
Boiling.
want to get them as soft as possible.
Okay, perfect. So
So that
they're
way, when you mash it, you know, and it's easier to mash.
perfect. So that's boiling and then the cuàker is simmering. So now I'll hand it over to Alicia.
Hi, everyone. William and Marylou, just want to tell you, ever since you gave me that empanada, that's all I've been craving. So thank you for that.
And that's why we wanted to give away that free coupon for anybody that comes and gets the cheese empanada with the sugar. We're the only ones that sell it. I mean, it's such a sweet tooth item. It's so good. But
Yes.
and it's very simple. It's very simple. Just cheese and sugar.
All right, so we're going to talk about, whenever I get my screen up. Okay, so tonight for Taste of Art, we're going to be talking about Oswaldo Guayasamín. Sorry if I mispronounced that. There's no way I was going to be able to say that. But he is an Ecuadorian artist, very popular in Ecuador. He has done so many wonderful things. This is actually a portrait of him. I'm kind of going to go through the pictures of him first because I have a really cool thing I want to incorporate into this Taste of Art today.
Alicia,
So this
we
is the
can't see your screen. Sorry to interrupt you.
I think we're stuck on loading.
Yeah.
Oh, hold up. Let me try it again. Sorry, technical difficulties.
It's okay.
It wouldn't be live if there weren't any technical difficulties.
Absolutely. Can you see it now?
There you go.
There.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, good. All right, so I'm gonna go back. So this is the portrait of him. We actually own this in our collection here at the Lehigh University Art Galleries, which is really awesome. This portrait is so amazing because this is actually from in his home that we're actually going to see in a little bit. This is one of his famous paintings called La Luna. This is another one that we have on, we don't have it on display, but we do have it in our gallery, which is pretty cool. So now I'm going to go into a little history about him. So here, I'm going to take you guys on a little tour.
My mother's been to that building.
Of Oswaldo's house. So you get a little bit more in depth of who he is and how much he actually loved and appreciated art just as much as we do. So he was a master painter, sculptor, and he was born in 1919 in Quito, Ecuador, as the first of 10 children. And unfortunately, he grew up in a very poor family.
Alicia,
Yes.
I may have to share the screen that you opened.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There we go.
Perfect.
Okay. So he started painting at only 6 years old. And he enjoyed making, like, his first thing that he did was he would make detailed, like, comical sketches of his school friends and teachers. He actually left school too at a very young age because he was only interested in art and nothing else. He ended up entering the School of Fine Arts in Quito. And in 1941, he graduated from the School of Fine Arts as a painter and sculptor. He traveled to Latin American countries, and he traveled so much that he was so influenced by and seeing every other kind of art that he got very involved in Cubism, which was being inspired by the works of Pablo Picasso and Mexican artist Jose Clemente. His work often is representative of forms of social criticisms. That was his big claim to fame. So the central theme in most of his works were social problems that he encountered during his youth. There's two big events that happened in his life that inspired his work. One of the first ones was he experienced the death of his best friend, who died during a demonstration in Quito, while Oswaldo was attending college. So during that, he entered what was, and the influence also was confronted with lots of poverty that he was seeing in America when he traveled to the Americas. He really held on to that, and he took that with him. So he entered what was called the Age of Anger. These paintings, I will show you them in a little bit. So the paintings represented faces and hands of like elongated, and they're either shown in prayer or horror.
Yeah.
The figures were also normally covered in tears, covering their eyes, and their hands and their arms were either reaching up to the heaven in desperation of what was going on. So the next part of his artwork that he entered into was when he got a little bit older, he started seeing the world a little bit differently, and he entered what was recalled the Age of Tenderness after the loss of his mother. This was the last of the collection that he had done. It was his last collection that was more than 100 works that he painted from 1988 to 1999. It was in defense of life and earth, and the series is a tribute to human rights and expression of love to his mother and all of the mothers of the world. In 1976, Oswaldo founded his own museum. He had a big appreciation for art and all the work. You'll see everything that was in his house that's artwork he has collected in his years when he was alive. And this was his library that we're in right now. And I love this room, so we're just going to sit on this for a little bit while I read the rest of this to you. He founded his own museum with the purpose of preserving and presenting his collected art in his own artworks. The name of the museum is, and please forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, Fundación Guayasamín. The Fundación Guayasamín is located in the Bella Vista district of Quito, Ecuador. And it is also the location of the house where he spent 23 years of his life. And that's what we just toured a little bit through here. Collecting numerous artifacts and pieces of indigenous art from Ecuador itself. The foundation protects more than 2,000 pieces of pre-Columbian artifacts, over 500 examples of Spanish colonial paintings and sculptures, and more than 250 works of modern artists, many including his own pieces. So the last thing I just want to talk about real quickly that goes in conjunction with his museum here in his house is La Capilla de Hombre, or the Chapel of Man. It's often called his masterwork. The chapel contains a few of his paintings dedicated to the suffering of the people of Ecuador. He worked on the Chapel of Man until his death in 1999. The chapel is located next to his home in the hills overlooking Quito. After his death, he's still considered a national hero in Ecuador, and his memory and imprint on the country and culture remain very much alive today, with his works being shown all over the country. So this was his house. I'm just going to show you a really, really quick viewing of the chapel real quick, since we did talk about that. I don't want you guys to miss out on seeing a little bit of that then too. So let me get back to that.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that he had left, that he had a problem in school and following the religion. In Ecuador, religion is very, very,
Yes,
very
he
big.
actually, after the death of his best friend,
Yeah.
he actually ended up renouncing his religion too,
Yeah. Mhm.
which was really sad.
Rockefeller
Sorry, guys.
helped him out with that, though.
Yes, yes, very much so.
Mhm. Kind of gave him the funding to be able to travel all of the Americas, even Spain, if I'm not mistaken.
He was all over. Sorry, guys, I can't get the video to work. I will get it up. Sorry about that.
We can share out the links to
Yeah.
so people can tour through Matterport. Thank you, Alicia. That was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Alicia.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That I want to see his work. I wasn't familiar with his work, and it's really amazing. He does
Yeah,
a lot of paintings of food. I was, reading up on him, and I'm so happy to know of his work now. I didn't know about him before. Should I get into some Ecuadorian food history?
Yes.
And then we will continue with this. But these
Yeah,
is
please.
boiling and this is simmering. And it smells really good. Yeah, it smells really good. Like I can smell the cinnamon and the sweetness of the pineapple. So I'm very excited. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about Ecuador, and then I want to hear more about you. I've never been to Ecuador, but I've always been fascinated by it, especially by Chimborazo, the volcano,
The mountain.
Yes, I've seen so many paintings of it depicted, and it's just so grand and just so incredible. But so for those of you that might not, be familiar, so Ecuador is a very small country. It's about the size of Colorado. So it's a quite small country, and it's on the western part of South America, and it's sort of wedged in between Colombia to the north and Peru, sort of Peru, and it's right on, on the Pacific on the western side, and it's right on the equator, hence the name of the country. Ecuador means equator, and it's incredible. It's divided into these 4 different geographical regions. One of them that goes sort of north to south. One is the coast. And so, of course, a lot of fishing. So it's this sort of beautiful, coastal region. And then there's a part of it in the south that's also sort of desert-like. And then, of course, the central sierras, the highlands, is the Andes. So you have a little desert here. You have beach. You have snow-capped mountains.
Well,
sorry?
Well, there's no more snow.
There's no more snow on the Andes?
No more snow. Yeah, there's no more snow. Unfortunately, when I grew up there was snow on the Andes. My mother lived in La Sierra, so we had a house on the side of one of the Andes mountains. And my dad was in Guayaquil, so he was from La Costa, so he was by the shore. But yeah, no, unfortunately, the mountain no longer has any more snow on the top. Ice caps, they're gone. And that has actually dried out the river that I grew up on.
That's so
very, very sad. I haven't seen it. It's been about 30 years, and I've seen some pictures of where I grew up, and the bridge is still there. The water's gone. Unfortunately, I mean, crystal clear water, like literally, like almost like came out of the bottle, like beautiful ice. I mean, it was very refreshing. I grew up with that until like 7, 8 years old. And but there's no more water, and but Ecuador is still going. I mean, still thriving. I know there's a little chaos going on right now, but we're also known for the Galapagos Islands. That is, that's what more or less everybody, and just, I mean, I never knew that so many people actually travel to Ecuador. I mean, and they go to Ecuador, they come into the restaurant and they ask for certain things, and I'm like, how do you know that? But it's great to know that our country, we're also a little bit of the stages of the Amazon jungle. So yeah, so we got a little bit of everything. So, but it's still going. It's modernized now, a lot of modern things, just like the world is, but yeah, no, it's 4 regions. My dad was in the bottom, my mother was in the top, and
And now you're in Pennsylvania. You were all over the world. Yeah.
Well,
I
trying
think
to bring the food, the great quality food that I grew up on with, and thankfully the public has responded. I mean, we're have high marks on the stars. The reviews are great, and that's all I ever wanted was for people to enjoy our food, because our food, a lot of times people don't really understand the quality of the food that we grew up on. And it's not like, frozen food or anything like that. Everything's made from scratch, and you do it like that is the best way.
that is true. Exactly. I agree. And introducing people to food that's the way into a culture, right? That's the best way into a culture. Yeah, I'm fascinated. Yes, you said the Galapagos and the Amazon. I mean, it has so many different diverse climates, regions. I'm sorry about the snow. It's like a climate change.
Yeah,
Everything. I had a boyfriend many, many years ago who was who is, I think he's still alive. I hope he's still alive.
He's not there no more.
No, I didn't just kill
He
him.
used to be.
No, I'm just kidding. But he was, or is studies birds. I can't remember the name of that. Whoever studies birds.
Ornithology.
Yes, and there is a region in somewhere in Ecuador. I can't even remember where it is, but there were particular birds that he studied that are only in that part of the world, really. So I found that so fascinating, and it's such a small country, but it just has so much. And one of the oldest civilizations, like some of the oldest pottery in the Americas. I always thought it was the Olmecs. I'm Mexican. I thought it was the Olmecs.
Yeah.
No, it dates to Ecuador. I always thought, chocolate is native to Mexico. There's this new research. No. It's actually native to Ecuador and made its way up. And some of the finest chocolate in the world is actually from Ecuador. And they used to be the main export. Do you serve it, the Ecuadorian chocolate?
Yeah, we serve it here at the restaurant. I get it imported from Ecuador. It's brick chocolate, like in almost like jars of it. It's not even like a solid, Hershey brick. No, it's just like chips of chocolate, and we put it in the pot. We start boiling it, and you make it. It's so rich, not sweet, just rich, bitter chocolate. It's delicious. Yeah,
sounds delicious. Yeah, I've read about it. I need to go visit you guys. I'm in Los Angeles, but I'm gonna come visit you. But I taste this chocolate, and Ecuador was a main exporter until the 20th century, when there were some sort of pests. And then, with colonization, the French started growing it in their colonies in, Southeast Asia and in Africa. And then they in Brazil, they started, rather than growing cacao that was so labor intensive, they started growing bananas, which are not native. So it's just so interesting, these shifts, but there's so many ingredients that are native to, quinoa from that part of the world. Yuca, there's this fruit that I was reading about, the Cuàker, that I love the name Cuàker. I find it just kind of comical and just very sweet. But it's typically we made it with pineapple, which is from South America as well. It's native to Brazil. And Paraguay, like that region. But typically it's made in Ecuador, it's made with a fruit called naranjilla.
Yes.
And what is that here? And I was reading that it tastes somewhere between a rhubarb and lime, or pineapple and lemon. But naranjilla, it basically means like little orange.
Yeah, and it's very citrusy. It's not, orange is you can taste very orangey, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like exactly what you said, it's like an orangey, lemony taste. Very, very citrusy and very, very uplifting.
I'm thinking it's the bigger brother to the key lime or something like that.
Okay, it sounds incredible. What is, you can't really find it.
No, yeah, you can't really find it too much around. It's not necessarily grown here. You have to import it from Ecuador. In more of international supermarkets, you'll be able to find it in bags. If I'm not mistaken, you might be able to find it in the frozen section because it's shipped from Ecuador.
Only way you'll find it.
But yeah, that is something that is only grown in Ecuador as well. So yeah, there's little things. I'm surprised because there's a lot of people that come in and ask for certain things, more colada morada, which is another I even forget the name of the fruit that they use, and it's same thing like the Cuàker. It's a lot of simmering, a lot of taking the flavor out of the actual fruit and being able to serve it cold and hot. Remember, we've served both ways, you know, it's almost like a coffee, iced coffee and regular coffee. So, and we also grow coffee. I mean, it's like, you know what I mean? You have coffee beans. I mean, the bolón, we're serving it here today with Cuàker. But normally, and I say that we use the Cuàker because it's more of a traditional, you know, drink that you can make from hearty. Yeah, it's a culture, hearty milk. But in actuality, the bolón is served with a fried egg and black coffee. No sugar, no milk, just black straight coffee, because the combination of the two, it's very
So rich.
Yeah, it's very, very rich, and it's served in the morning for breakfast or brunch. You know,
Okay.
so just so you know, but yeah.
Sounds, I know, and it's the national dish of Ecuador, the
Yeah,
bolón.
one of them. We have so many different ones. I mean,
There's the-
yeah, I mean, and the thing is, you know, we're talking about vegetables here. The country is known for, I mean, we have people that come in for cuy.
the guinea pigs. For the- I don't know who a cuy is the guinea
Yeah,
pig.
that's not me. I don't like that. You'll never find it on my menu. No, but that's why I say that, and I say
We
that.
have the stuffed animals.
Yeah,
like
we have the
the
stuffed animals, you know, they can come in there to hand, you know, pet that. But, and I say that because, you know, we don't know what vegan or vegetarian is. You know what I mean? To us, you know, my wife has said it, and my mom, it's more of a, we're gonna eat light. You know,
Right.
and this is what light would be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, this is what normally the light would be, is just, yeah, something very easy, nothing too heavy, but we're known for pork and cuy, you know, this is like charred, you know, on a pick. So,
Yeah.
so this is something that's a little bit more hearty, you know, that you can make with the Cuàker. And
Yeah.
like I said, if you with the Cuàker is if you're feeling a little ill, a little down, you know, you take a little, make a little of the
it
Cuàker,
opens
that
up
opens
all
up,
your
you know,
system.
it's very, very healthy for yourself. So.
Yeah, it smells incredible. I can smell the, just the cinnamon, all of it.
Yeah, that's
I-
it.
Pineapple, I love it. So do you think that the bananas are ready, the plantains are ready to start mashing, or how do I test it?
You can just poke the middle of it, basically, and if it's tender, you'll pretty much know if it's mashable yet or not.
Okay, I think I might, actually, I think it's okay. Well, I don't know if you would be able to tell it by seeing me mash it.
But it'll start looking, it'll open up, like the
Yeah.
plantain will start opening up, and you start seeing that it looks a little soft, mushy.
Let me show you. It started opening up like this much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're
It's
getting
looking
close
like
to it.
this.
Yeah, you're getting
Getting
close
close.
to it.
So I just want to say, so plantains are interesting. We talked about it before. At least one of my favorite things, and they're related to the banana. So you can't substitute a banana with this. It's a whole other plant, but they're relatives. But it's not native. I mean, you mentioned coffee just now, and the coffee when they stopped exporting cacao, they focused on bananas and on coffee because it was just economically, it was just better for them. But plantains and just bananas actually made their way to Ecuador via Africa. So it's actually native from India and Africa, made its way into Africa in the 16th century via the enslaved, slave ships that came from Africa to work in the sugar plantations, right? So it's this, and the Jesuits brought the enslaved Africans over. Speaking of religion, right? It's like,
Yeah, I know.
so, but it's such an important crop.
Yeah,
And
for us, the country, we serve it, we ship it out. I mean, it's one of the main crops that we serve, and like I said, so it's and we love it. We love it so much.
I know, it's so delicious. I love it too. And it could be used in every stage. So the verde, which is what we're using for this, you can't really eat it. It's very starchy. It's almost like a potato. You have to cook it for cooking a potato.
Yeah.
And then there are lots of stages. This is sort of the yellowish. It's sort of in between the green and the
in between, yeah. And it'll get more yellow. You can have yellow ones that are really, really yellow and it still be soft. But if you wait a little longer, we have a lot of customers that'll come in and they'll say, I would never buy the black one. It looks spoiled. And I'm like, no, that's the best one to buy.
That's
You
the
know what I
best.
mean? And you have, you have a couple ways of doing it. I mean, we know many different ways, but the two best ways is, just peel them and just kind of throw them in a little bit of oil. Or the other one, like I mentioned before, what we have in our country, maduro asado, just throw it in there and then char it on a flat with mozzarella cheese, and it's
Heaven. It's my favorite thing. I'm in Los Angeles, and there's an area downtown that's called the Piñata District.
Okay.
And there's just rows and rows of street vendors. And I went on Sunday because there's this vendor that I love. She makes really good potato tacos. And then I was walking to my car, and there was these giant fried plantains, not with what do you call it? With cheese, but with condensed milk. And I was just like,
Yes.
power tacos, but I have to have this. So good. And I love that you started off as a truck. That's the best food. Street food is the best food.
Yeah.
That's very true. No additives. There's nothing to add. It's just simple, straight ingredients.
Yeah.
You want to taste that. Don't get me wrong. Hey, I understand today's world, you have 45 ingredients to make one plate. Yeah, we kind of keep it simple. We're very lazy. We like to just throw it in, done. And it's delicious. That's the best.
I was actually very happy when I saw there weren't that many ingredients. I was like, I like it because it's just a few things just taste really good. Oh, I just moved
in today's world, not everybody has that much time to really sit there and do a lot.
Yeah.
This is something that's very simple. You can be able to do your work. Just keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn. Chop a little bit of the onion like you're doing now, and then
that's what I'm doing. I'm just chopping the onion, getting it ready. So
Yeah.
should I just do that whole onion, the whole?
You don't even have to.
You don't even need to do that much, just a little bit. Yeah, it's just to kind of give it a little bit of a crunch on inside once you do, but you don't really need to add too much, just enough to kind of, but definitely put cheese, the mozzarella cheese, the shredded mozzarella.
I don't have mozzarella. I have the queso fresco is what I have.
You can do that.
Okay.
You can do that. Okay. Yeah, that works. The queso
Because
fresco.
I have both options, but I have this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's good. Don't get me wrong. The queso fresco sometimes a little expensive. So, you kind of go with the, whatever you can do best. And mozzarella cheese is another option.
Okay.
You can also use, the queso fresco, when you buy it, it's like a little circle thing. Yeah. So, whereas the mozzarella cheese, you get a giant bag.
Okay.
You understand what I mean, right? It's cost effective there. It's a little bit better, specifically in today's world. Like, a parent throw cheese and then you can do more cheese things with that as well. So
that's true. I always have queso fresco. Oops, this is ready. This one broke apart.
I think so. Yes.
I always have queso fresco. So.
And you see, now that you take them out, see how soft they are. It's easy to mash.
Totally soft.
And before it was rock solid, and you'd be there forever.
Yeah. I want to just flip this over so that everybody could see what it looks like. And then I'm just going to peel them and start mashing them. Let me flip this. So they even the green is not that green. It's gray.
Yes.
I'm going to.
Just be careful. They're really hot.
Yeah.
Don't burn yourself. That's it. That's the main thing. It's the one, small dangerous thing is just you can burn yourself.
I know. I'm actually.
If anything, just wait. Yeah, just wait a little bit. Let it cool down.
Okay. Let me just see if I could just do some of the exterior. Yeah, I'll wait a little bit.
Yeah, that's just the wife usually waits a little bit. She doesn't start going at it. So even though she has hands of steel, but
I know I do have hands of steel too, but sometimes it's like, maybe I'll wait a couple of minutes.
Yeah, no, just take your time.
But those are perfect. You could totally tell that's the consistency you need it to be.
Okay, perfect. So I have I have the I think we said 1 cup of half a cup of cheese, right?
Yeah,
I think
half
that's
a cup to a cup. Depends on how cheesy.
How cheesy you want it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like cheesy.
I like a lot of cheese. That's why I said,
What are some of the dishes? I know that, corn has been cultivated, and potatoes, of course, have been cultivated in Peru for millennia. And I found it really interesting that the culture, the Valdivia culture, even before the Incas, arrived in the late 15th century. So the Incas arrived late, and then shortly thereafter, the Spanish colonized. but the Valdivias, they're the oldest civilization in the Americas to make pottery. So yeah, I thought that was
Wow,
really
that's
quite interesting. Yeah. So I always think that, oh no, Mexico, they were the first. Like, oh wait, maybe not. Maybe not. There are so many others. There's so many other, cultures that did so many different things.
And then, well, right now, this culture that you're talking about is going to be the oldest one for now until they find another one that's older than that, right? So
That's true. There's always, yeah, there's always new, and this is how they found out about cacao, because they found some pottery and it had carbon. They did some carbon testing and they had remnants of cacao
yeah.
that was older than the remnants found, in
And I thought we were number one. I guess in food quality, maybe. I don't mind taking that. I'm okay with that. So, but yeah,
Okay.
like you're making one of our traditional dishes, the Bolón de Verde. We have the other one, which is the potato that they grow. It's called japingacho.
Which one is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, we switched this over.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Look at those. Those are great.
This-
So yeah, so
yeah.
one of the other dishes that we serve in our country is called japingacho. So
What is that?
So it's almost the same. The only difference is that it's potato. This one's called Bolón de Verde because we more or less make it. So my mother used to make it in more of an oval, even though bolón means ball. I like a little oval because when you have it in an oval and you have a little bit more of a surface, you can char it more. So you understand what I mean? And once you do it, you'll see what I mean, because it'll get brownish, which is, it just looks delicious. The other version that we have is the japingacho, which is a potato version, which is basically just potato mashed. We put mozzarella cheese. You could put scallions in that one, but and then you also have the yuca. You have a yuca mash, so we take the yuca root. Same thing, boiling, peel it, boil it, and then mash it. Mozzarella cheese is one of the mozzarella. Well, the queso fresco which is the main one, is the one that they use in Ecuador. But we have mozzarella cheese in the restaurant here, but it's more or less the three mashes, if I'm not, you can more or less say that they are that we would have. So you're doing the green plantain version. They have a potato version, and then there would be the last one would be the yuca version.
The yuca version. Oh, so good. Starch, carbs. So good. I'm going to flip over and just start mashing. So I actually, before I have this piece that I cut off, so you could see how it changes colors. I don't know if you could tell from the camera. This is so
no,
beautiful.
you can. Yeah.
Kind of gray. So I'm just going to start mashing away. And do I want to mash until it's like super, super smooth? Like a smooth paste, or
yeah, so that when you ball it together, it'll be nice and condensed
okay.
versus crumbly, and then it'll fall apart.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And for people who don't have a masher at home, you can just use a fork, right? Or
Yeah.
His mom always used a fork.
So now the version, I'm not sure if the version that you're doing in the restaurant here, we serve the version that you're making now. But there's the one, either, I'm not sure if you have it, is using lard.
Yeah,
authentic. Yeah, and I don't have that one, but yeah, Marylou was talking about that. So that is something, pork and beef and
and like I said, we're a third world country, so we don't have vegan or vegetarian. So we use the lard. It just gives it a little bit more of a I don't know how to explain. I guess a little bit more.
It's a
richer, sweeter taste. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. It's still good the way it is. But we serve this version here at the restaurant because we have with the Lehigh University students. We want to make sure that we don't bring anything that will upset them in their diets. Any special allergies or religions, so we basically just do the way that you're doing it now, without the lard. It still tastes exactly the same way, besides just a little richness. It's a little bit softer, like the way you see how it looks a little hard.
Yeah.
So with the lard, it makes it a little bit smoother, a little bit softer.
Right.
You know what I mean? So again, the public, you know, if they want to use lard, they use a little bit of lard in there, and it'll just char a little bit nicer.
Do you, is your restaurant vegan? So I'm adding the green onions and the cheese now, and then.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's
Yeah.
nothing.
So
together.
our restaurant is not only vegan. I mean, we have vegan options. Remember, I'm a little biased. It's all my mom's recipes that I enjoyed. So I'm not vegan. I'm a meats and potatoes kind of guy. So, but we do have a small amount of items that are meatless. So one being this one. I mean, if you don't mind the little cheese, you know, some people don't mind it. You can do that. But we also have another version that in Ecuador. Okay, so in Ecuador they don't really have the version that we have here, but we modernized a little bit of what we have in our country. So like you were mentioning, the vegetables that are grown in our country, we grow garbanzos. So we use the garbanzos and sweet plantains, and we made our version of mash for the vegan student or, you know, customer that is in the neighborhood. So it's a little different. It's a little different. Remember, we're taking a little bit out of the norm here. You have the traditional one, but in today's world, you kind of have to add a little bit different to kind of be in that vegan vegetarian. We don't do cucumbers or anything like that. So,
but I think that's so interesting because that's how cuisines adapt, right? That's how things change. Like, well, maybe not the queso fresco, but I'll use mozzarella, and then I'll skip the lard and the pieces of pork, but I'll use this. And that, I find that so interesting. And sometimes when, you know, when people say, oh, this is not authentic, it's like, but it's authentic to here, to this region, to this place. And so I love that, you know, and adapting to where you are and to the students that, you know,
that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to bring something for them to, you know, to really, you know, try and have it, and it's really good. So I mean, the sweet plantain, that one you would use sweet plantain with the chickpea. So
okay,
you know, the garbanzos. So that way, you know what I mean? So it kind of gives a little bit more of a sweeter taste to it, but you still have no lard, there's nothing, it's just vegetables, which is, you know.
So right now, so I'm not going to add anything to help bind this together. Just I'm starting to heat up. I have a pan here that I have some oil.
Some people add egg if you really want to.
What do you
The
think?
fact that I keep it like vegan veggie, I try not to add the egg.
Yeah.
But at this point, you're gonna get your hands in there and like
Okay. Let
Just
me
kind of get in there,
together.
and just, you know, because that's, you want to be able to, so that as you're doing it, just grab it, just put it together, make it into like I said, an oval ball, you know.
like this.
Yeah, like just a little fatter. You can go a little fatter, so you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
and like I
reminds-
said, remember, like if you would have had the lard or the egg, it'll help you like keep it a little bit more together. So at this point, you just kind of have to squeeze it as tight as possible, just to
Okay.
kind of keep it. And then once you throw it on the pan, a little bit of vegetable oil. Yep, that's looking exactly how it's supposed to be. Yeah,
Compact.
yeah,
Okay.
compact. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This reminds me a little bit of these little tortitas, like little torts that my mom used to make with plátano, with the macho, with the black one, and black beans. It kind of,
Well, it's funny because in
Like-
the
that what-
potato version that Will was talking about earlier, his mom would call it tortilla de papa.
Yeah, so my mom calls it tortilla de papa
Yeah.
in Spanish. But a lot of customers, people, you know, they relate tortilla to Mexican culture.
yeah.
So they're
So-
like, this is not a
So
tortilla.
so they would order and they'd be like, this is not a tortilla. And I'm like, it's not Mexican.
Not a
We're
Mexican
Ecuadorian."
restaurant.
Yeah, you understand what I mean? So it's like, and you go into the Ecuadorian culture and anybody in the street, yeah, that's it. That's perfect. If you can make them like kind of like flat on one side, on both, you know, like two sides, so that way you can be able to get a charness out of them.
Yeah, it's just for an easier fry.
It's for an easier fry.
Okay, done, got it. So I'm just gonna flatten it like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that way, because we've noticed that everybody likes more of a charness to it,
They like
Yeah.
the crisp.
the
Everything
crispiness to it.
crispy.
Yeah, you know, if you get a little crispiness to it, yeah.
Okay. let me fix this one and then I'll
Just
put
don't make them pointy at the end. Just make them more like a little ball, because
okay.
yeah, the right ends are a little bit more rounded. So, but yeah, that's exactly. Yep, that's it. See, so if you notice, it's like an oval ball, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
All right, this one I think
So-
is too.
yeah, that one's just yeah, there you go. So that way, when you fry the egg, you have to make sure the yolk doesn't get,
Like it'll sit nicely on top.
it'll sit nicely on top. So when you crack
I
the
see.
yolk, combines with the bolón.
And
Okay.
the one benefit of not putting the egg in is that you can actually just eat it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just tasted a little bit for salt and it's delicious.
Right? That's what I
Really
said.
delicious. Yeah.
So that's the only benefit too, if you didn't put the egg in.
So now, one of the other things, for example, like my wife just mentioned, the yapingacho tortilla de papa. That one, so this one, yeah, look at that, that's perfect. Yep. So this one is served with a fried egg and coffee. But
Mhm.
the other one that they have, the yapingacho, that one's served with a fried egg and and curtido.
Mm,
So
Which is-
curtido, it's like a pico de gallo, just no jalapenos.
okay. Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, no jalapenos and no white onions. So it'll be more or less half red onions, tomatoes, cilantro, a little bit lemon juice, salt, water. That one's served on top of the seared mash with a fried egg.
Mm.
Yeah, so you have a couple, multiple versions. You know what I mean?
There's
So
different options. So should
and
I
this
just,
one here is we wanted to use this one because of the plantain.
Yeah.
We see customers don't really know what the plantain is,
Or they're just used to the regular plantains you see everywhere. Like,
Exactly.
the
Everybody
tostones.
knows tostones or they know maduros. And there's so many other ways to make a
Good.
specific vegetable that, so yeah, that looks perfect. Now you let it sit there for a little bit. You have a nice cast iron pan, skillet, so it'll just char. Just
Okay.
keep an eye on it, because if you don't, it'll burn.
burn it?
Yeah, so but let it sit there for a little bit and you'll be good. Yeah, you see what I mean? Look at that.
Looks
Those are beautiful. Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Yeah, I forgot the cast iron goes quick, so you gotta be careful you don't burn it. But that looks great. Yep, that's exactly what it's supposed to look like.
Oh, man, that looks so good. I can't wait to taste this.
And once you bite it, your cheese is melted. You know what I mean? Inside, it's just yeah.
I can see how the mozzarella, because the queso fresco doesn't really melt. So I could see how the mozzarella would just ooze out. Okay, I'm gonna make it next time.
And that's why I like to use the mozzarella, because don't get me wrong, the queso fresco, once it chars, it has like a smoky flavor to it. But the
Uh-huh.
mozzarella, I like mozzarella melted.
Yeah.
It's just when you bite into it, you take the fork, you cut into it, and it just pulls away. It's just
Oh my gosh, amazing. And I could see how this would be really delicious with little bits of pork in it too.
yeah. And if you notice, see something like this, it's so simple. You see it on the side of the road, it would just be some rocks, fire going, a metal pan, and just potatoes. Yeah. The ladies smashing it, they're just throwing it on the pan and just selling it on the side of the road. It's so good.
So do you use a lot of, chile? I know you call it ají, right, in South America, but like
Ají.
but is the food very, spicy?
In the cooking,
No.
not necessarily.
Not
We
really.
usually have it as a side.
Yeah, the ají is known for. I mean, don't get me wrong. The women love the ají, but the ají is in the male culture. I don't drink myself, but most of the men in Ecuador drink an enormous amount. That I always want something to kind of like kick them in the mouth. You know what I mean? So they love ají. The ají is known for just to be able to take it and put it on everything. And it's homemade again. You know what I mean? It's not, something that we import. We make all the hot sauces from scratch. Yeah, and it's outstanding. So
But yes, most of the food, it's very little dishes that you'll find that have the hot pepper
yeah,
right
they
there.
have hot pepper that are spicy. There's not really anything that's spicy in our country. We don't want to, you know,
It's more just the taste of the actual
yeah,
vegetables.
one of the things about our culture is that we want to taste every single ingredient that we're putting into the food. There's no sauces on the meats, there's no barbecue, it's just salt, pepper, you know, a little bit of garlic, the salt to make sure to get that flavor out, you know, that's all it is. And then the vegetables as well. Not too much simmering, there's not too much, it's just basics, you know, ingredients that are just thrown on top as fresh as possible. The red onion salad that we call in our restaurant, which is curtido, is just raw red onions.
Oh, that
That's
sounds
all
so
it is.
Yeah, and it sits in lemon.
It sits in lemon. It's like the ceviche. The ceviche is made in its own lemon. You know, I mean, we cook the shrimp here in the restaurant, but in Ecuador and Colombia and Peru, you know, it cooks in its own, in the lemon juice. You know what I mean? Like the way the traditional way. So look at that. That looks great.
does that look?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
They smell amazing. They smell, I want to taste it, but I want to pour myself, because I know that we're running out of time,
Yes.
but I want to serve myself,
Cuàker.
some of the Cuàker. I'm gonna move this out of the way and then move this back just to show everyone what it looks like. Oh, it smells amazing.
I know, man. It's just
You can
not.
smell it through the screen.
You don't understand. I'm like, you're reminding me of my mother's house when she used to make this, and the house would smell like cinnamon, Cuàker everywhere.
Yeah.
We know that it was be made, and I didn't like it hot. I liked it cold.
Okay.
You know, so I like to put it in the fridge, put ice in it, and just drink it like an ice cold beverage.
So should I put some ice in a glass and pour it in there?
Well, right now it's super hot, so it's just gonna melt on you. You know what I mean? So for it to do that, you got to put it in the fridge overnight, you know, so that way it gets cold. But like this, you'll try it like this now, and you'll see what I mean. I mean, the richness of the Cuàker.
I want to flip it over so that everybody can see it.
Yeah.
But look at that.
No, nice.
I'm still, you know, fighting for that little swig of rum to throw in.
I was gonna ask, what should this be spiked with? But I don't even get how creamy it is.
Yeah, that's the oats.
That's the oats. It gets creamy. Mhm.
Look at that. It's just, I've never had anything like this. So I'm gonna strain it.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Yes.
strain a little bit into,
Yeah, just a little bit into the, yeah. Mhm.
and then I'll pour it into my mug. Yeah, I can already tell how, I don't know, I'm having trouble with this camera. Can everybody see?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Can you repurpose the pineapple? Like, can you eat it hot?
Yeah, you can. I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, there's no need to get rid of it. You can, you know,
I can
eat it.
imagine chopping it up and putting it on top of ice cream or something.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about that actually. And I don't know, this oatmeal, I might have this for breakfast,
Like
this.
a creme brulee or, you know, whatever.
like I said, you can modernize things, you know what I mean? I mean, something like that, you know what I mean? That's just, oh my God, that looks so good. Look at the way it looks on the bottom. I remember that.
Look at that. If
That
you could-
looks so good. You see how thick it is, right? It's
Yeah.
rich. It's real. When you put it in the fridge, it gets more watery. You throw ice in it, it's more like a, you know what I mean? Like a
More refreshing.
drink. Whereas here, you're more like, like I said, if you're not feeling so well, you make something like this and you serve it at nighttime and just kind of drink it as you know, sitting there watching something. You'll really enjoy it. You'll really feel it going to your body and
Oh my
making you feel a
goodness.
lot better.
I'm gonna pour it in this glass just
Yeah.
so that you can see what it looks like. Because my mug is so dark.
Uh-huh.
Lisa put in the chat that the drink reminds her of tole that we make when making tamales, she said.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It has the same consistency, but with here, I have a little cinnamon that I'm gonna.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that's exactly how you do it. Yep.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it has the same consistency of atole, except it's thickened with the oat instead of with the corn.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Be
I
careful with
see.
that.
She can't wait.
It's delicious.
Yes.
You see how rich it is, right? It's very, very rich. It's
This is
not,
amazing.
you don't taste water.
really
You
good with
don't
mezcal.
taste, yeah, you throw a little rum in there. Yeah, the family used to do that. So I didn't do any of that. So I just had the regular.
This is amazing. I feel like I'm going to be making this over the holidays. This is going to be.
That's when it's served. It's served over the holidays. It's served in like on a cold day. You serve that and you sit. It's better
almost
than
like a coquito,
almost.
but not the cream.
Yeah.
You know.
But not, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my, it's the same sort of consistency.
Yeah.
This is my new favorite drink. This is amazing.
Enjoy it.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I need to take a bite of this. I don't know if you could hear.
Yeah, the
Yeah, there's a little crunch to it. Yep.
Oh, I can see that. I could see the
queso, right?
queso, yeah. Mmm.
Yep.
I love the texture of it. And it's
So,
very,
so
it's-
if you take an egg and just fry it and then just throw the egg on top, enough for the yolk to spill all over. When you crack it, the
Yeah.
egg consistency with the bolón, I mean, yeah, that's really good.
it's delicious. And I could see that it's very much like potato.
Yeah.
It's like a potato croquette almost,
You
right?
can taste that earthy culture in it. You know,
Yeah.
like you can taste it's from the land.
Yeah.
It's from, you
Mhm.
know.
100%.
Enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you both so much for
Thank you for
introducing
having us.
us to these, well, me for sure, to these new dishes.
New dishes, yeah.
They're delicious. I will definitely be making them, and I'm going to, I don't know, I'm going to drink that whole, spiking it after.
Yeah, the Cuàker is good. Just save some, put it in the fridge, like I said, and you'll see what I mean, the
For
difference in the
tomorrow.
two. It's really, really good. So
Oh yeah,
on a
with
hot
ice
day,
cream. Oh, yeah.
yeah, on a hot day, having it with ice cold, it's like I said, you can have it both ways.
It's almost like the new energy drink.
Yeah, you totally.
Don't give our secrets away.
It's very nourishing. Yeah, I feel so healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Thank you for making
Yeah.
our food.
Thank you for sharing your recipes.
I was just going to say, thank you for sharing your recipes. Thank you for being an important part of our community. I see there's a couple people cooking at home with us. So
Nice.
don't forget to tag us. Hi, Christine. Don't forget to tag us in your
guys.
recipes so you can be eligible to win gift certificates to Couch Potato. Regardless of the gift certificate, make sure you go there to try their food. This Saturday, they will be joining us on the South Bethlehem Greenway for the Southside Arts District event. So that should be a lot of fun. I believe it's 1 to 5 p.m. Between 3rd and 4th Street. And there's lots of great activities and all kinds of things, but we have plenty of kits left. Please make sure you stop by Couch Potato. Please make sure you stop by LUAG, wherever you need to grab a kit and try this recipe for yourself. Thank you, Mary Lou and William. Thank you, Maite, and thank you, Alicia, for a really wonderful program. We're so grateful to all of you.
Thank you for having us. And then if anybody wants to pass by the restaurant and just ask about something in the restaurant, please don't hesitate. We open our restaurant and we open it so that people can enjoy the quality food that I grew up with. So if they really want to come in and look at something, figure out more things, we're willing to help them out in any way.
We're grateful.
What are your hours now?
So, okay, so don't kill me, everybody. Okay, we're trying to do what we can. I know that we have a little bit of a situation. Parking is a little bit of a situation for us. The city has now worked with us and they have installed 3 parking spots behind the restaurant in I believe it's a parking area to the
Broadway lot.
on the Broadway lot by the Speedway. There's 3 parking spots for us there that people could come in and park in and just kind of walk around. I know that we're on a corner. At the moment, we are only opening for this month, Fridays, and if I'm not mistaken, Sundays. We own a food truck and we get involved with the food truck events that are in the area. So it's only my wife and I and my son, like I mentioned, in the restaurant. So please, if you can come out on a Friday, we prefer Friday or Sunday, only because Friday we're open till midnight. At the same time, if you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook or even Twitter, my wife does all that. So don't mind me, everybody. I'm a little bit of a dinosaur when it comes to things like that.
But we post.
But we
where-
post where
well,
we're gonna be
be.
at. And the best thing of all, my phone number is on there, the cell phone. We have no problem anybody calling us. We prefer the customer to call us in case, we're not available or they like to pass by. Just give us a call first so that we can anticipate you and we can let you know if we're here at the restaurant. So again, it's only my wife and I, and we try to do the best that we can. So
But your typical hours are 5 p.m. to 12 a.m., right?
yes.
Every day but
So-
Wednesday,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. We are so
Thank you again,
grateful.
guys.
And we look forward to seeing you all again soon for our next Taste of Art program. We'll be in touch. So thank you and have a nice evening.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, man. Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Appreciate it. Enjoy that.
I am. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.